Oh, this view is, I mean, come on. We've got yet another cloud inversion. Drakensberg is certainly putting on a show for us. They're sort of all their little tufts just catching the light. Absolutely incredible. Really hard to put into words the scale of these mountains. Wouldn't have changed a single thing. Really a trip of a lifetime.
It'll be a bit more of a challenge altitude-wise, but you'll get used to it very quickly. It might be a struggle on the first day, day and a half, but as long as you push through that and we take it slow, it should be okay. Yeah. The longer we're out there, the more chance there is it will be there when a thunderstorm comes through, because they are quite violent at that time of year and quite frequent. If it did become a problem, we could plan to have a sort of a step-off point. So I'll get back to you soon. I should see him this weekend or this coming week, and I'll let you know about the route. And because the thing is that the thunderstorms do kind of pick up more going towards January.
Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah. No. Thanks for letting me know. Bit of a bummer to have to change plans, cancel at this stage, but guess that's just how things go sometimes. Two guys that I was originally going to go to the Berg with, they've had to pull out at the last minute. So back to the drawing board. Racking my brain trying to figure out how I'm gonna pull this trip off, and I think I might have solved it. Invite other photographers.
Okay, can you make me a tentative for taking that spot? My husband isn't feeling well, so I just need to talk to him later about the dates. So yeah, I just can't bear the thought of not taking that last spot. Yeah, okay. Count me in.
After a short drive from Joburg Airport, we arrived at Witsieshoek Mountain Lodge, where we would spend our first night before starting our hike into the Drakensberg. A quick briefing, a bite to eat, and then nobody could resist heading up into the hills just behind the lodge for a bit of evening photography.
Sorry, I won't do that.
Don't worry. Well, welcome to the Drakensberg. Up here with 5 people. I'm sure we'll get introduced to them over the course of the trip. And yeah, it's the first sunset. So just going up for a little stroll above the lodge that we're staying at. But wow, incredible landscape. And looking forward to what the next 6 or so days is going to bring. Just got some really nice layers going on in the far mountain there. So broke out the long lens, set up a nice little simple square composition, about 400mm. And yeah, it's a nice way to start the trip, I think. Really nice minimal shot. Hopefully that one turns out. A final check of the bags to make sure that we hadn't forgotten anything, and then we headed out to the trucks to load up and make our way to the starting point of the hike. The inversion that morning was sitting very low in the valley, hiding the mountains from view. But eventually we were given a few brief glimpses towards the mountains we would be climbing. Just behind me is the start of the hike, and yeah, we're going up there into the clouds. Hopefully we'll get above them in a little bit. Be great to get some views, but wow, just incredible atmosphere, and looking forward to starting 6 days across the top of the Drakensberg escarpment. So enjoy, and let's hit the trail. So we set off up into the mountains, eventually making our way towards the chain ladders. Day one was just about 8 kilometers. A welcome shorter day while we acclimatized to hiking at 3,000 meters altitude.
I'm just gonna pace myself.
As we gained altitude, the clouds parted briefly, revealing some of our first views onto the incredible mountains.
So, they just cracked down on Airbnb a bit. So,
What's up, guys?
What's up?
I don't know what they would be. There's like there's multiple religions. Many religions. Christian. Yeah.
We made our way passing directly underneath the enormous cliff face of the Sentinel, slowly making our way around to the chain ladders. A weakness in the otherwise impenetrable wall of stone that would allow us to access the top of the escarpment. We took turns climbing the near vertical sections of chain ladder, each about 20 or 30 meters apiece. Eventually topping out and continuing our hike along the escarpment.
Join the shepherds. Nice one, Bree.
What?
Nice one. I came up here, I dropped my bag and I was like, look down, I just saw your head.
Woo woo woo!
So we going down?
Yeah, waiting for Bree.
Yeah. She's a fair way.
Already.
We stopped briefly at the top of Tigella Falls, what would be the world's highest waterfall. Unfortunately, it wasn't running, as the area was experiencing massive drought. A Brock inspector and some amazing light and cloud, however, made for a brief photographic opportunity, before heading on to set up camp a little bit further at Bilanjil.
You okay? Yeah, I'm good.
Well, day one done, and camp's all set up. We got views out that way towards Tigella Falls. Spin you around, gonna be really bright. Unfortunately, no water this time, but maybe when we revisit again on a future trip. And then we've got more views down that way. I think we're gonna have a bit of luck at sunrise, it seems. Cloud does seem to be dropping, so fingers crossed for a few opportunities. Otherwise, morning is going to be always great out in the Drakensberg. So, yeah, just excited to have made it up to the escarpment. This has been sort of like 3-4 years in the making, and it's just every bit as dramatic as I thought it would be.
See, there's a notch.
Well, how about this? The needle poking through there, and we're actually getting the shadow of one of the mountains was cast just there on the right, which is looking really cool. But yeah, these epic sandstone faces being illuminated by the setting sun. It's just making for a rather nice image, paired with this cloud inversion. This is like classic Drakensberg. Couldn't really wish for anything more than this, I don't think. We've got a few crepuscular rays out towards the west, but I'm focusing on photographing to the east. Wow, incredible evening. Yeah, the group's all up taking their images, pointing towards, most of them I think are photographing towards Tigella Falls. And yeah, me and George have just come down to explore these cliffs here behind me. So, gonna see what happens in Blue Hour as well. I think I've got a composition further over that side, facing towards Tigella Falls, that might work quite well when we get some of those nice pinky hues reflecting light into, wow, this epic amphitheater of mountains.
My soul.
Good morning on day 1, or rather day 2. I think a few of us didn't sleep that well. It was a sleeping pad problem, but I think we're being treated and rewarded for all of our efforts this morning. Got beautiful pinks in the sky, and I've just been out since blue hour making a few longer exposures. Now we're gonna wait for some of that morning sunlight to hit these peaks. And yeah, I think when that light hits the sandstone, it's really going to glow and make all the difference. So, got a few compositions just set up over here. That's my tripod. And yeah, hopefully you can make something decent. Well, sun has risen here in the Berg on day 2, and yeah, things are getting pretty contrasty, but there's still a few opportunities shooting down in the ridges, some more abstract type shots. It's been quite a morning. It's a bit of a pink glow there before sunrise. Tried to make the most of that, and then now with the sun on the mountains, yeah, just incredible. I think that's going to be it though. We've been out here for over an hour at least, hour and a half probably, so I think it's time for coffee, some breakfast, and pack up the camp. We've got about 14 Ks today. Today is our longest day, but at least it should be relatively flat up here at over 3,000 meters. Okay, time for some breakfast and coffee.
You like to have vitamin E? There's that top.
After an incredible morning of photography, we headed back and packed up camp before setting off for the day's hike.
Nick, what'd you put in that oatmeal? I'm puffing up.
Carrots. Or it might have been that one plum.
Yeah.
She didn't give me many, so there's like one in each bag.
And then I will
Because I had mess and intent.
Sailors passing on the street, are you ready for peace? Ships are filling up fast, are you ready for ease?
At least every 2 years.
Forget bad memories and leave.
My doctor was not impressed when I told him I was drinking out of streams and
Birds are filling up the sky, are you willing to try?
Well, we got a last big push up the hill here, about 3-4 Ks, a few hundred meters of elevation left. So definitely feeling a bit of the altitude at the moment, but we just had a nice little 10-minute rest, put our feet in the cold mountain water, feeling loads better. So yeah, gonna hit the trail again, and shortly we'll be at camp for day number 2.
Keep it steady, we will be the confetti. If we fail, we just reboot. Grass is greener on this side, are you ready for new? New beginnings, new pride, let your spirit shine through. Many more come, many more under the sun. confetti. And if we fail, we just reboot.
Well, just sheltered a little bit from the wind here, and oh, this view is, I mean, come on. The old man's store in Scotland doesn't have anything on that. 1,000 or just about 1,000 meter vertical drops from these cliff faces. Beautiful inversion, sunset glow. It feels like a field day. But yeah, it was a pretty tough walk to get out here. Well worth the effort, as always. Always say that. You got to put the effort in to come out to these wild, beautiful places. And bit of wind. Yeah, the Drakensberg is certainly no exception to that. Definitely a bit of type 2 fun out here. Right, I'm going to go and maybe try and take a few more pictures this evening. But otherwise, camp's all set up. And yeah, I'm pretty knackered from today's hike. So I think that's probably going to be it for today. But yeah, the next day is going to be just as epic, I hope. So I'll catch up with you tomorrow. We sat and watched the sunset over their cloud inversion, satisfied with the day's hiking and photography. Little did we know that the next morning's sunrise would be one to remember. Well, good morning from Madonna and her worshippers on what is turning out to be a pretty special sunrise. There's no inversion this morning, but I guess we would be pushing our luck if we wanted to get 4 inversions in a row. So there is a bit further off in the distance, but it's not quite as spectacular as we've had over the last couple days. Anyway, we had some awesome colour in the sky. And yeah, just been experimenting with a few different compositions, some tighter and square crops, and just really trying to silhouette those amazing pinnacles there over my right shoulder. What more is there to say? It's a pretty beautiful location, and yeah, excited to see what the next section of hiking brings. We set off for another day of hiking through the Lesotho foothills, high on the Drakensberg escarpment. There was a subtle variation in the landscape from further north, now working our way south. It seemed as though the cliffs were becoming more dramatic and extending out further into the valley beyond. The Basotho people were a constant presence on our hike. Charming and always friendly, we looked forward to our encounters and learning a little bit more about their culture. Alright, first stop for day 3 now. And you can just see, maybe over my shoulder there, few people in the school group. We're heading up that way as well shortly, and that'll be our sort of big push up the hill for today. But yeah, feeling well rested, I think, and nice to get the ascent out of the way first thing in the morning. Just stopping here in the river to fill up, get hydrated, and then we'll be on our way shortly. But yeah, another kak day in Africa, as they say. Blue skies, nice little breeze to keep us cool. Yeah, I'll check in a bit when we get to the top of the hill. Up and over the last hill of the day, it seemed as though the group was all finding their mountain legs, acclimatized to the 3,000 meters of altitude, and certainly enjoying the incredible views of the mountains. Suddenly, North Peak and Rockeries come into sight. A pair of shepherds approach to say hello, and we make our way down to camp on day 4, just in time before a storm rolls in. Well, I got a bit overambitious and went up just as the storm was rolling in to the viewpoint, and yeah, that was probably a mistake on my part. The storm came in, had to rush back to the tent, and then of course as it passed we got some pretty amazing conditions. Double rainbow, mammatus clouds, we've got some lenticulars forming at the moment, beautiful golden light. But you can't win them all. I'll remember for next time to wait for the storm to pass. That's for sure. Anyway, I'm happy everyone on the trip has gone up, and I think they're going to come back with some amazing photographs. And yes, that's one of the things that I love about coming out to these places with a group of people, is that you get to share these experiences. And yeah, hopefully these are some memories that'll last this group of people a lifetime.
Do you guys just come and have coffee in the best places? I said, absolutely, that's exactly what we do.
The following morning, I headed back up to the viewpoint, ready to make the most of the incredible conditions. Good morning. Day 4, we are here at Rockeries. And yeah, it's just getting some wonderful morning glow there. And if I spin you around, hopefully it's not too overexposed, you can see we've got yet another cloud inversion. Drakensberg is certainly putting on a show for us. I've got a shot set up over there that's just looking straight down into this valley behind me. And there's sort of a nice cloud that's trying to make its way into that valley. So yeah, it's really beautiful, sort of matching the shape. There's a river, a few nice spires and spines of these mountains, and yeah, not a breath of wind. So really nice, peaceful, calm morning. Beautiful. Well, sun has now risen, and what an incredible morning. Looking over to North Peak over there. I was just trying to grab a shot using some of these wonderful foreground grasses just as the sun crested the horizon. They're sort of all their little tufts just catching the light. It's absolutely incredible. But yeah, the contrast now looking towards North Peak, towards the sun, is a bit too much. So I'm just waiting for that sun to rise a little bit more, because there's all these wonderful textures in the inversion clouds, and I reckon those are going to look incredible when they get lit up by that morning sun. So I might stay here, or I might go back to the other spot that I was at, photographing down into the valley. But either way, what a privilege to be out here in this incredible landscape on this morning. A quick dip in what small pools there were, and we were packing up camp before heading off on day 4. Each morning it seemed that the inversion would come back over the mountains, a welcome reprieve from the beating sun. Hiking under blue skies, while beautiful, was hot and difficult work. We slowly made our way around onto the southern side of North Peak. Swirling inversion clouds lifting up and over the escarpment edge. One last push up on a rather pathless section of hiking opened up some incredible views towards North Peak. But not short after do we descend back into the cloud and rain to find campsite on day number 4. Another early morning, high clouds sat above the mountains, and we made our way to a viewpoint some 20 minutes away from camp. The early glow on the faces of the mountains slowly morphed into an almighty, epic sunrise. A glow that was almost too strong for photography. But nevertheless, a peaceful and incredible morning to be up in the mountains. Well, how about this for a pretty epic view and not a bad sunrise, if I do say so. Got Bree down here with me, and we're just shooting this. I mean, it's really hard to put into words the scale of these mountains. So it's 700, 800 meter sheer cliffs, and they all sort of form into this perfect V valley. A few interesting foregrounds here with some light colored flowers and bushes, nice grasses and rocks. So yeah, we're just trying to make the most of another beautiful morning here in the Drakensberg. our last full day on the escarpment, hiking up and over a small ridge to begin the day. Cockade Pass slowly came into view, a dramatic and incredible section of the escarpment, one that I wish to return to and photograph in the future. Our objective for the day, Cleft Peak, came into view as we rounded the corner, but first, a rather steep descent down into the valley below, before heading up to one of the highest points on our hike. The weather was changing fast, and slowly but surely, a thunderstorm rolled in. In the thunder and rain, we headed up towards the summit, holding for about 30 minutes before making our final bid during a gap in the storm. It was short-lived at the summit. We grabbed a photograph of the group, but there were no views to speak of, so we quickly made our way down the other side of the mountain to camp on day 5. Well, today was a rather big hike day. We went up and over Cleft Peak, which can't quite see, it's up in the hills there, and then a nice steep descent down to our campsite just above Organ Pipes Pass. But yeah, it's been an incredible 5 days. Certainly today was pretty tough. Lots of elevation gain, and cloud has set in now. It's been raining pretty much all day, so sorry about the lack of B-roll there. But hopefully the sun breaks through again. It was shining earlier for just an hour or so. Yeah, we'll have to see around sunset if anything happens photographically. But for now, we're just sitting around camp and enjoying ourselves, having a bit of a chat, a nice cup of tea. And tomorrow's the last day, down Organ Pipes Pass, back to Cathedral Peak Hotel. So, yeah, been an amazing trip, a great bunch of people, and lovely to meet a few of them in person for the first time. And definitely looking forward to coming back here in the future. The final morning was perhaps the most dramatic view of the entire hike, looking back on the full escarpment all the way to where we had started, some 75 kilometers away. We were treated to fantastic light throughout the morning, and as the sun rose, the ridges of the Drakensberg mountains came to life. We are all packed up here. Day 6 now, and we're heading down Organ Pipes Pass just over there. And yeah, it's been an incredible trip. Wouldn't have changed a single thing. Really a trip of a lifetime. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'll do a bit of B-roll on the way down, but this is probably going to be just about the end of the video now. And yeah, if you've stayed this long, please do consider subscribing to the channel. Give the video a thumbs up, of course. And if any of you are interested in joining me out here in the Drakensberg on the Northern Traverse to photograph this incredible landscape, then there'll be a link down in the description below for some future trips. So, thank you very much for watching once again, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. It had been an epic 5 days up on the Drakensberg escarpment, but at long last, it was time to make our way down. Little did the group know that this would be perhaps one of the hardest days of hiking. There is little to no water on this route, and hiking in the 35-degree heat made for challenging conditions. At only 11 kilometers, but with nearly 1,700 meters of descent, as we traversed some of the very ridges that we had just been photographing that same morning. Let's do a video. A little bit of light scrambling with the backpacks on. The group made it through, helping each other along the way. Nice one! And slowly but surely, the dramatic ridges of the higher Drakensberg gave way to rolling hills. Eventually, after some 5 hours, we made it down to our final destination, Cathedral Peak Hotel. A nice cold beverage seemed a fitting reward.
Cheers!